Hi, everyone. I am super excited you're here. I'm here with Sebastian and Madison from Bench, which is my favorite bookkeeping software. And I've just had so many positive experiences with them. And I know a lot of you have been asking me what I use for bookkeeping. And just so you know, it's not a tool, it's actually a service and a tool all in one. But Sebastian and Madison will do a much better job of explaining it. So I will just hand it over to them.
Thanks so much, Lisa, and it's nice to meet all of you. As Lisa mentioned, my name is Sebastian. I work on the partnerships team here at Bench, and joining me is Madison from the sales team.
Hi.
She'll be giving you guys a product demo of what Bench and the actual experience looks like towards the end of the webinar. I do want to start quickly by saying that we apologize for the slightly late start. Lisa and I were trying to figure out some technical difficulties, so if at any point the connection breaks up or I'm looking a little bit unclear or something freezes, please just send a message into this chat window and we'll make sure to remedy that ASAP. And if you have any questions throughout or any comments throughout, also fire them into the chat window. We're happy to field them. So the first thing we want to start off with in this is just to talk very quickly about bookkeeping, because people come to us for a variety of services at Bench, and they'll have a number of needs. They'll say, I need to get my taxes done. I need to get some more planning for my business. And bookkeeping is really the foundation that's built upon. So to delineate bookkeeping and accounting, bookkeeping is the recording and categorization of transactions into standard financial statements. So when people talk about the income statement and the balance sheet, those are a function of bookkeeping. So what we'll do at Bench and what other bookkeeping services will do is take all those transactions, make sure that they're categorized in the right places so that your business meals are showing up in the correct ledger, that you're seeing the value of your assets reflected on your balance sheet. And then from there, you can do a number of things with that information. You can file your taxes is really the big one that a lot of our clients come back to, but also work with your accountant to do financial planning for your business. You can just keep a good pulse on, say, what products are and aren't profitable for you if you're going down to that segment level with your bookkeeping. So there's a number of things that can happen from there, but bookkeeping is the foundation that's all built upon. So when we talk about having financial mastery over our businesses or over whether it's a full-time gig or just that side hustle that you're building up, then really the foundation for that is you just need to know where the money's going and have that recorded in the right way. We'll turn it over to you to talk about how that can help you make some informed decisions.
Great. So in order to make business decisions, you need good bookkeeping. So for that, when you have good financials, you can make decisions in your business like, hey, should I open a new location? Should I get another product line out? So these are all decisions that need to be made with good finances in order. So above all, good bookkeeping can give you confidence to make those business decisions. So if you're seeing profits month after month, you might be like, hey, let's go ahead and go grow my business. So this often requires capital. So investors, whether you wanted to finance your product line through a loan or get some investors, they often need good financials. And in order to get good interest rates on a loan, you're going to need good financials to show how credible you are as a creditor. So these numbers will tell you to take action, whether you need to grow your business. There's also an option if you're happy how your business is right now, you wanted to maintain your business and optimize efficiency. So like Sebastian was talking about earlier, this is really a great opportunity to work with a business coach like Lisa or a CPA to really optimize your efficiency. So for example, you might be spending the majority of your expenses in a non-critical area. That's a great opportunity for your income statement to give you some transparency in your spending. So metrics on your spending are really the foundation for making those business decisions, especially if, say, you're trying to pivot out of a certain business or looking to sell your business. That's also a great opportunity for good bookkeeping to help you as well, to make sure that you get a good price on your business and you really know what you're worth. So also, you wanted to, a lot of people think bookkeeping is just about filing your tax benefits, when a good bookkeeper will actually show you where you can leverage your tax benefits. So the IRS has some very nitpicky rules about what is tax deductible and what's not. And you as an entrepreneur, you usually get into business because you're passionate about something, not really necessarily knowing all those nitpicky rules about bookkeeping. So a good bookkeeper can help you navigate those. And really give you some peace of mind. So the IRS, they flag certain things, like say, for example, you're not accurately deducting your car, you're expensing all of it as business when it's actually under your personal name. That can actually flag you to get audited. So good bookkeeping is just making sure you're taking care of yourself as a business owner and then making the appropriate decisions moving forward. And that's what we're here to show you.
And before we get into the demo event, one thing that is worth mentioning is that there's a lot of admin tasks that or admin or kind of tedious tasks that need to be done for a business owner. And our position, full stop, we'd love for you to use Bench for the bookkeeping, but really in today's ecosystem of tech solutions, outsource them because there's no need for someone to try to be learning to do their own payroll when there's great solutions like Gusto in the market. There's a number of solutions in the bookkeeping space. Bench is really a great fit for smaller solopreneurs, e-commerce sellers, people who are starting out a small business. Then you get into there's larger solutions that will take care of the bookkeeping for, say, startups who are trying to get venture funding and things like that. But there's a whole host of solutions in the market for so many of these functions, be it invoicing, be it inventory tracking. Stitch Labs is a great example of TradeGecko also of inventory tracking solutions. So a lot of the things that you would traditionally think of as back office functions in a business for your own small business are things that can now be outsourced because of a really, really great and robust ecosystem of solutions for small business owners in the market. So we would say that definitely take care of these things and reap the benefits of them. But I don't think I'd ever start a business with the intention of also being a great bookkeeper as one of my main business goals. But unfortunately, a lot of our clients have had to devote that much time to trying to learn to use whether it's QuickBooks or or Xero or just a flurry of different Excel sheets. Then that's really not why they started their business. I would hazard a guess that may not be why many of the people watching this have started theirs. So I would encourage you, where possible, to take advantage of that ecosystem of really great services in the market and to use that. And I've just seen a comment come up. I've been recording my expenses as I go on Wave, but sometimes there's no receipt because it's an online purchase. Okay, so that's something that we can work with. What we do, we can connect to your bank accounts via a couple of different options depending on which provider you're with, and we'll see that transaction come up on the bank statement or the credit card statement, depending on which card or account you use to make the purchase. And then we'll also see the name of the vendor. Initially, we can make some pretty decent guesses about that. If it's an expense from Staples or Office Depot, then we'll probably book it to Office Supplies. But if it's something that we're not sure about the first time, we can ask you where that expense should go in your books, and then create a rule moving forward so that if those repeat transactions are coming up, then that's something that we can absolutely work with. So no worries if there's no receipt for something, especially if it's it's an online purchase. The online purchases are very easy for us to work with. The only time that we ever actually ask for a receipt is if there's cash that if there's a cash expense, then a receipt is definitely a helpful document for us to make sure that everything is categorized appropriately. So what I will do now is, just give me 1 second here. Perfect. I will start the screen share here and let Madison take it away on the product demo. One moment as I remind myself how to use a computer. There we go. So perfect. It looks like that's all going through. So Madison, take it away, and we'll be on a different tab for a moment. So if I miss a couple of your questions, I will certainly come back to them.
Perfect. So as a few of you might guess, this is our interface. It's an online cloud-based service. It's called Bench. You can log in, and our goal here is to make sure that this bookkeeping work is taken off your plate. So once you sign up, you get your own account, and you get connected with your own team of bookkeepers. So it's a team of 3 individuals, but really one of which is going to be your main point of contact. So they're really doing this work behind the scenes. They're creating 2 financials on a monthly basis, which I'll get into in a little bit more detail. They're also there to field your questions and really guide you through this process. So this is the interface. You'll see on the Messages tab, you're connected with your bookkeeper. So that's the great thing about Bench being a software and a service. A lot of clients we found have kind of been fumbling around with QuickBooks or an Excel sheet trying to figure it out themselves. That's really where the bookkeeping team comes in. You can see that there's a couple of questions that the client has asked the bookkeeper. We make it an effort to respond to everybody within 24 business hours. So great, that's the Messages tab. You have unlimited contact with your bookkeeper, whether you want to schedule a call with them every week or once a month. That's completely in your price point. We don't charge hourly. So on the left-hand side, I can hop into the Reports tab. So this is a summary of your income and expenses over the course of the entire year. So keep in mind, we do need 12 points of data to see this, but you'll see certain trends in your business, whether your revenue is super high one month, you can kind of do some deep diving and see what's happening in there. So we do break down your revenue, expenses, and ultimately your net profit, which is how much money you're making each month. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. So another great tool that we break down is your top 10 expenses. You can kind of get a little bit more transparency and financial literacy into where your money's going. So now I'll hop into our income statement. So a lot of people refer to this as the profit and loss sheet, exactly the same thing. So we want to make sure that you know exactly how much you're making. So we break down your sales revenue, your sales tax, which is ultimately tax deductible. So you'll see how much sales tax you're paying in each. And we break down each category by different transaction lines so you can see exactly where those numbers are coming from. And if you have any questions, we definitely encourage you to book a call or ask your bookkeeper a question. They're happy to walk you through around what each of those are. So these are the main chart of accounts that we're going to be using. Keep in mind that some are tax deductible, and your bookkeeper will make an effort to use those as much as possible to make sure that you're leveraging all of those tax deductions. So a lot of our freelancer clients, whether they're consultants or have their own e-commerce, they're using their home for a lot of their business expenses. So that's actually, you can deduct a portion of your home and your bookkeeper can definitely help you do that. So this is a rough idea of the chart of accounts that we're going to be using and ultimately breaks down your net profit by month. We also see that there's a calendar icon. You can break it down by month, quarter, or a custom date range to maybe see the profitability of a certain project. So now I'm going to get you to hop into the balance sheet.
Just one quick pause. I'm jumping back to the chat window to make sure that
questions.
It's just solid expenses, not much. Okay.
Yeah. So Amanda, Are you just starting out your business right now?
I wanted to jump back to make sure that the connection was all still good to go, and it looks like it is. So Amanda, we'll jump right back to your point once we get through the rest of the demo. Great, cool.
So just jumping back to Amanda's point, she was asking if she needs bookkeeping if they're mainly expenses and not profit. So there's a common misconception that you only need bookkeeping if you're actually making revenue, when that's actually a great opportunity to have some solid bookkeeping in place, because when you're operating at a loss, when you do start making money, you can use those losses and carry them over to use as deductions in the future, which I'll talk a little bit more about if you have any other questions. So now hopping into the balance sheet. So this is a really great tool to see the health of your business. You can break it down by assets in your business. So if you have any property, plant, equipment, which is can be depreciated over time. So we really want to see what assets your business has and versus what liabilities. So if you have any credit card debt, any loans that are incurring interest, we want to capture all of this. So you can really see if you liquidated your business today, what it would be worth. So if you scroll to the bottom, we can break it down by different shareholders to see who's taking money from the business. So now we have Justin and Camilla, and we can also create separate logins for each of your business owners so that your bookkeeper can get to know both of you and tailor their answers to your questions based on who's asking those. Great. And now I'm going to jump into the accounts tab. So I'm sure you're wondering how we got that information. So at Bench, we like to link to all of your bank accounts and credit cards. So if you link to statements, this will give us access to your online PDF e-statements each month. We try and link to all of your merchant processors like Stripe, Square, PayPal, Shopify, Amazon. So for some of those, we create third-party logins for your bookkeeper, which allow view-only access. But for most of them, we can just connect directly to the platform online. And we try and make this as easy as possible for you. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to get you to click into documents. So I know Sebastian answered a question about receipts. How do we deal with those? So if you are purchasing anything with cash, we're going to get you to take a picture of that receipt and email it down to this email. So you all, if you sign up with Bench, have your own specific email. You can just save that as a contact in your phone. When you do make that cash transaction, go ahead, take a picture of the receipt and upload it for your bookkeeper. They can reconcile it. This is also a great opportunity for you to communicate your personal spending with your bookkeeper. So a lot of clients that are just starting out have business transactions on their personal cards. That's no problem. We can deal with that as well. So just download your personal PDF e-statement, highlight the business transactions, and we can upload them for you in this tab. So we're always building new things out on the platform based on client feedback. So we've consistently gotten feedback over the past couple of years that, hey, my monthly financials is great, but I want to know what's happening in my business right now. So we built out this new feature called Pulse. It's a great opportunity to see your cash flow day by day. So a lot of our clients have a bunch of accounts and credit cards and don't really know their cash flow of their business hour by hour. So this is a great opportunity for you to see, log in, say you need to see if you can make payroll for the next week or see if you can pay your supplier. You can log in, see the cash flow of your business and what that actually looks like, and then make your own assumption. Hey, yes, I can meet this payroll, or no, I can't. I might need to get a loan or line of credit or something of that nature. So this is a really great tool that's new, and we built that out on client feedback. We're really excited about it. We found that it's great for clients. And on the left-hand side, you'll see a status bar. So this is basically the Domino's pizza tracker of your bookkeeping. You want to keep, you want to know exactly where your books are at points in the month, and your bookkeeper will update this to make sure that you know exactly when you can expect your financials to be completed. As Sebastian was chatting about a little bit earlier, he was talking about different partnerships that we have. So if you're looking for things like financing, payroll, invoicing, historical bookkeeping, or tax filing, those are all things that we've partnered with great other services that can provide you with whatever you need. So think of Bench like an ecosystem, well-versed in bookkeeping and really specialists in that. But in terms of payroll, invoicing, financing, anything else that your business might need, we've made partnerships with other companies that are experts in their fields as well. So feel free to check that out. And yeah, I think that's everything I have for you guys today of the product demo. Do you guys have any questions?
Great. Oh, Nicole, we sorry, I just saw the question that you posted. We right now we're only working with businesses based in the U.S. So unfortunately, we won't be able to help you in Australia. We're hoping to get there someday, but yeah, for right now, just U.S. businesses. Just
Can you guys talk about how the process works?
I should clarify that point actually. If you've used a service like Stripe Atlas, say, that allows you to incorporate in the U.S. but have foreign ownership, then we can still work with you for sure. just the company itself has to be incorporated and based in the United States.
Lisa, were there any features that you liked using as a bench client?
I think just the easiest one for me is just that someone did everything for me, but I did like the visual P&L statement. That was nice to see kind of where you're at. But, oh, you know what would be nice is if you guys went over what happens at the year end for taxes. Can you guys hear me? All right, it looks like we lost Sebastian and Madison, so let's see if they come back on. Oh, there they are. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, sorry.
Okay.
We can't hear you now. Yes. Okay. If
no.
our tracker, we have a 30-second window to talk.
All right. I was saying maybe you could go over what the year-end process looks like from Bench's perspective and what vendors you recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you talking about tax filing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. So a lot of clients come to us really in dire need to get their taxes filed. So at the end of the year, your team will prepare a year-end financial tax package. This is basically a financial summary of what happened in your business over the course of the entire year. And it's designed for your accountant to use to file your taxes. So we've actually launched a new service called Bench Tax. So we can file your taxes for you if you're not already working with a CPA. So usually bench tax would be 40% cheaper than working with an accountant. So we try and make this process as easy as possible for you. And if you're working with a CPA, we can create a third-party login for your CPA so they could just grab that at the end of the year. So we've got another question from Amanda. She says, the interface looks great. I feel so overwhelmed by taxes though. It's like a chicken and an egg problem. How do you hire a bookkeeper when you're not making any money? That's a great question, Amanda. So whether you hire a local bookkeeper or not, you still need bookkeeping in place. So my recommendation for that is that accounting and bookkeeping is a professional service and it's completely tax deductible anyways. So it can be a little bit overwhelming to actually get a bookkeeping service in place. But whether you're using our service or using QuickBooks Online, we definitely recommend having something in place, whatever it may be.
And we'll, from what we've seen in the market, we tend to definitely be the most cost-effective solution for what our clients get, especially within the kind of e-commerce seller or solopreneur market. Also, with by virtue of the fact that you're watching this with Lisa, if you click that link that is underneath the video screen that you'll see of us, you'll get 20% off your first 6 months of bookkeeping with Bench. So we'll do a month of your books as a free trial. So the way that works is that when you get on the phone with someone from our team, they'll help you get set up. We'll turn around books. We'll turn around those books in 24 hours and then jump on a call with you, usually one to 2 business days. Then jump on a call with you to go over the finished result, and you can decide if you'd like to activate your subscription. And if you would, given the discount with Lisa, you will save some money on that. You had also asked, Amanda, what state are we based in? So our company is incorporated in New York, but our headquarters are in Vancouver, British Columbia. So we are Canadian. Hello from the north. I'm also going to give another quick refresh so that we can hear Lisa. So I will drop for a moment. Apologize for the technical difficulties. We've got another 30 seconds.
Funny. All right. So I think that was a really great overview. But just to answer your other question, Amanda, like they were saying, to me, bookkeeping is like an essential versus like hiring a designer or having a website is like a nice to have. I feel like you have to file your taxes. And if you're a business, or even if you are doing this as a side business and you have a day job, you still have to expense everything and you have to account for it correctly. And so, I mean, you know, it's possible to do it yourself, but I have an MBA in accounting and it's still easier for me just to hand it off to somebody else.
That's as good a testimonial as any. Yeah. If we've got a number of accountants who've started their own businesses that have said something similar. And to add some gravity to that, we have a unit in Bench that works with some clients who are having difficulty because they haven't filed their taxes with the IRS, and I can tell you from experience with that, they're often in a rather bad way. So I don't wish that upon any of our viewers today. That's not a good situation to end up in.
So definitely make sure if you're getting any letters from the IRS, you're contacting us as soon as possible so we can smooth that over for you before it becomes a huge problem.
Yeah.
Amanda also says, my books are a mess. I've used personal and business money haphazardly, although always recording the amount, date, and purpose carefully in Wave. That's great that you've been doing that, Amanda. We see that all the time with freelancers and people just getting started. It can be really difficult to use your business account for business expenses always. So it's good that you're tracking that very carefully. I really commend you for that.
And to add to that, to how we can use that, it's obviously we encourage people to try to be as diligent as they can about keeping personal and business expenses on separate cards, because that just makes everyone's lives easier, including your own. But that we can certainly help you hash out, if you incur some business expenses on personal cards, then that's something we can help you with. And to be fair, if you've been recording the amount and the date and the purpose carefully for every transaction, you are light years ahead of a lot of people that have come to Bench and now have great books, but that weren't so great before. I had a single profit until this month, though. $5. They're going to use the IRS. Well, I think we work with a number of people who are pre-profit, even pre-revenue usually, and like Lisa said, it's one of those things that it's not like you have to file your taxes and have bookkeeping in place. It's not really at some level someone will come calling for bookkeeping and taxes, whether it's needing a loan or the IRS, and that's just something that needs to be there. So as Lisa said, it's in a different category than the business nice to have.
Mm-hmm. And if you're at the point of starting to make profit, that's definitely when bookkeeping comes into play, because you can look at your past couple months and say, hey, I've made a loss, I've made a loss, I've made a loss. And then when you do start making profits, you can use that to deduct off your revenue in the future so that you don't owe more taxes once you actually do start making money. It's really important.
Mm-hmm.
Great. One more refresh. I promise we'll have this sorted out.
Okay. So I guess thanks so much for being here. I think if you're just joining late, I think the main takeaways are, one, I definitely think bookkeeping is like a non-negotiable. It's not like maybe I'll get around to it, maybe I won't. The IRS will make sure that you get around to it, whether you're making a profit or not. The other thing too, though, is if you're wondering if Bench is for you, and again, I'm nothing wrong with Wave or Xero or QuickBooks or anything, but nobody's on the back end. And quite honestly, if you don't know how to set up your own chart of accounts, I don't even know if you're using it correctly. So I would say try out Bench. You can do, like they said, they'll do 1 month of your financials for free. And then if you like it, make sure to sign up with the link that I have, because then you'll save 20%. So I would say at least make some progress, because we are getting close to the end of the year and they're going to be really busy.
And then Amanda says, what do you recommend, an LLC or an S-Corp? So for that, it's really dependent on each specific business. What our bookkeepers typically recommend, and what we see a lot of our clients do, is as soon as they're making sales of around $40,000, or decide that it's time to start paying themselves on payroll, that's when they would switch to an S corp, because it is advantageous in terms of your tax deductions to pay yourself on payroll, and then it gives you an opportunity to be taxed a little bit less than if you're just taking owner draws as an LLC. So that's really what our bookkeepers would recommend. And then she also says, Wave has a paid backend, but I haven't used it, and Bench seems awesome. I definitely deal with a lot of clients coming to us from Wave, and it seems like we're a little bit more user-friendly. But if you have any questions about our interface or how we actually work, like Lisa said, that's a great opportunity to get your free month done by our team. So it's a little bit different than your average 30-day Netflix trial. We get you set up in about 10 or 15 minutes, and then complete your free month in 24 hours, and then walk you through your completed income statement and balance sheet. A really good opportunity to ask somebody who's professional and been doing this for a long time questions, rather than just assuming that you're doing it correctly yourself.
Mm-hmm. And just one quick addendum with incorporation. We can certainly speak to what we've seen and what's been advantageous for our clients from our experience. But the S corp versus LLC thing, the best person to ask that question is going to be a CPA for incorporation services. But we can certainly speak from our experience. But when it comes to any firm business structuring advice, we're always happy to help you with your bookkeeping and maximizing deductions where we can. But there will be some CPA input needed at the end of the day, and Bench Service is a great foundation for that.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Sebastian and Madison, for being here. Oh, they refreshed.
Hello.
Hi. I was just saying thanks so much for being on here. And if people want to move forward with that free 1-month trial, what should they do next? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Just 1 second again. Oh. Sorry, if you can repeat that last bit. You said if people want to move forward with the free 1 month?
Yeah, what should they do next?
So they would if they click the Save 20% Now button at just under our faces, then definitely do that. What I'm going to do is put my email address in the chat. Send me an email. And if you have any other questions, or if you want to go ahead with the trial, then I will make sure that you are directed to the right people. And of course, if you have any questions that weren't answered, or anything that didn't happen because of technical difficulties, any questions that weren't answered, I apologize, and I'll make sure that I get those answered. But yeah, make sure that if you click that Save 20% link, that'll send you to the right sign up page, and I'm sure that Lisa will have a follow up, which will also include the link. So click away, sign up, and we'll make sure we can help get your book sorted. And thank you so much for having us, Lisa. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Take care.
Take care.